Welcome to Campaign 2023 in Mansfield. I am Steve Cosio with the About Mansfield podcast. To my left, we have started a partnership, and I know that if you're out there listening to this, you can't see her, but yes, she is sitting to my left, and we are proud to be partnering this time of this campaign season with the Mansfield Record and the managing editor to my left, Amanda Rogers. Welcome.
Thank you, Steve.
And it's good to have you here. And I just want to remind our listeners before we get into the questions, the school board questions, is that you can always subscribe to the podcast if you go to our website, aboutmansfield.com, and enter your email address there on the homepage. We do not send you any spam ever. And to also subscribe to the Mansfield Record. And Amanda, How do people subscribe to the Mansfield Record?
You go to mansfieldrecord.com, you click on subscribe, and it's free to subscribe.
There you go.
And we will not spam you either.
In the studio today is running for school board, Mansfield ISD School Board Place 6 is Quintin Huckaby. Amanda and I are going to be ping-ponging back and forth with questions, and I yield to Amanda. Let's go ahead and start with the first question.
I would love for you to introduce yourself, Mr. Huckaby.
Hi, everybody. I'm Quintin Huckaby. I'm running for Mansfield School Board. I was born and raised in Fort Worth, Texas. My wife's name is Sandy Puga, and my son is Liam Huckaby. And we have a fourth person in the house, Coffee. She is my standard poodle. We both are bilingual parents, and we're just looking to focus on education for our child.
Really, what languages do you speak?
English and Spanish. ¿Sí habla español?
Sí, poquito.
Poquito.
Sí.
Sí está bien.
Okay. If elected, what do you see as your role on the school board?
My role on the school board will be transparency. I want to bring transparency throughout the curriculum. I want to focus on emotional education for our students and looking at mainly, it would be entrepreneurship. That's what I really want to focus on, entrepreneurship after school, getting the students to learn about it now instead of after they graduate.
What are your biggest concerns with the Mansfield ISD?
Biggest concerns would be politicalization. I would say that would be one of my biggest concerns is trying to take away all the politicists of what's going on in the ISD behind closed doors, make it transparency. The financial part of the school, I want to see how we spend our money, where we spend it on, and let's focus on the forgotten kids, which I think the forgotten kids are the kids that when we go to the school board meetings or wherever meeting we go to, everybody says, yes, we have 78% or 85% that are doing great. What about the other students that are left behind? So I want to focus on SPED and all the kids that are left behind.
Going back to what kind of politics are going on behind the doors?
That's what I'm trying to figure out because at one point I was at the school board / city council meeting, and I was told to give a speech, which the words were not my own words, so I kind of froze up a little bit. So I want to just say, I want to use my words and focus on the children. That's all I want to do. So if there's any type of say, hey, let's go with the get along boys, I don't want to do that. I want to just say, hey, you know what? I'm here for education. No matter what party you're from, let's just focus on education. Okay,
let's go back to that. You were told to give a speech. Who told you to give a speech?
Well, I don't want to give out her name so much.
Okay.
But it was a group. So within that group, and
is there a name to that group?
Let's just say one of them sits on the board right now for school board. So we'll just leave it at that. I know everybody's going to be wondering, and they're going to try to ask me those questions, but it will come out. What's in the dark will come out to the light. So what I want to focus on mainly is I've already kind of ran into some of the issues, and what I want to focus on mainly is saying, hey, I'm not going to run with everybody in the crowd. I want to run for education. That's what I'm here for. My heart's into it. I have a son that's 2 years old. He's going to grow into this school district. So let's get everything started where he can grow into the school district.
How long have you lived in Mansfield ISD?
Ooh, I lived in Mansfield. So I'm on the borderline of Arlington, Mansfield. So I get to pay the both best worlds of taxes. So I've lived here for about 7 years. But I say Fort Worth is Mansfield at the very end of the day because I traveled back and forth. I'm a real estate agent. So I'm into the community and I sell all over DFW.
What experience do you have analyzing or creating policies, whether it's educational or otherwise?
Policies, I don't have it in the educational part of it, but as I was growing up and I had to grow up very fast for when I was 20 years old, I bought my first house, and about 21, I moved into the corporate office of PLM Transportation. So as creating policies, I was there in a Fortune 500 company helping create policies with our technicians. I helped run over 8,000 trailers. With that, I jumped to Stevens Transport and I ran all the trucks and trailers from there, including the workers. So I was young enough to be in the corporate office, but not young enough to get 401k. So that was great. So I got to jump in. I got to help create policies. And then me and my wife, we both work at we used to work at a dental company. And so I was field manager / HR / handyman. So I got my hands involved in everything. So I got to help create policies and write procedures.
What do you see as the critical needs right now? You said you want to be involved in the educational in the education, and that's what do you think is the critical need right now in Mansfield ISD?
I believe there's not enough seats for our students. I think that's the main critical need is not enough seats and financing. Financing goes with enough seats because at the end of the day, if we don't have financing, we can't grow our schools. If we don't have enough financing, we can't make a bigger campus or we can't bus kids where they need to go.
If you you mentioned you're in Arlington, right on the tip there. Are you in Summit or Legacy?
I'm in Summit.
You're in Summit School District.
Yes.
There's been talk around town that should there not be districts instead of having 7 at-large trustees. Are you in favor, or would you consider looking into perhaps 5 districts because we have 5 high schools, 1 school board member representing each district? Would you be in favor of that, or is that something that's like,
You know, that was something I would be in favor of because if you think about it, at the end of the day, we're growing. We're growing at a rapid pace, and I'm on the growth committee for looking at that as well. And we were looking at how many students are going where are students going. And if we have somebody over here in the north and they have a curriculum that they need over here down south, we have to bus them all the way down there. Why can't we have something and this is going back to the middle class again, can we have those curriculums in the south equal in the north so we can just kind of put everybody where they need to do and not just focus and push everybody to one school? And now we're overcrowded. Yeah. So I think that's what's happening right now. We're being overcrowded. Let's kind of separate a little bit and work from there.
How do you feel about the leadership right now in Mansfield ISD under Dr. Kimberly Cantu?
I've briefly been in some meetings with them, just kind of seeing how she works and everything. I believe currently everybody is doing well. Everybody's doing well. I can't say everybody is doing excellent because even myself, I can't always judge myself as saying I'm excellent. I'm doing well. I'm always learning. Just like Dr. Cantu, I feel that everybody's always learning. I can't say everybody's on top of everything because every job of my past experience on every company I've ever worked for, the teachers do not like the administration because the teachers are like, hey, what can they help us with? How are they focusing on us?
Yeah. You said they're doing well, they're not doing excellent, which kind of leads into that next topic.
Awesome.
The Texas Education Agency evaluates the academic performance of public schools, assigns a letter grade to each of the districts, A through F. Last August, MISD received a B rating for its previous school year. What can you do? What do you think you can do as a school board trustee to keep the school district from dropping to a C or turning that around? What can you do to help regain its A grading?
I'm glad you asked me that because that goes back to my main focus on that main rating is for our kids that were doing well. the kids that were just making it under their achievements, I think that's what pulled us down, how can we get them up to where they need to be? We can focus on more school funding for them, more programs, get more private teachers to go and teach. That would be back again to financing. So I think to make us be where we need to be is just focusing on competitions with other districts, other areas, and see how much money can we bring in so we can focus back on our students. Because I believe right now that we're getting the money in, but are we allocating it where it needs to be? So if we want that A rating, let's allocate it where it needs to be so we can get that A rating. Let's not do not focus on the students that are doing well. Keep focusing on them, but let's focus on the forgotten students. Let's focus on the middle class, the kids that are just barely struggling with that C or that F. Get them above, and guess what? Now we're all to the finish line.
Where do you think because you were saying that we need to focus on where the money is being allocated, where are some ways that you could see, you think we have enough? So I'm hoping that you're not saying raise taxes, but but you say we have enough money. Where would you say some of the cuts could be made?
Cuts can be made to, man, that's one of those that I need to keep drilling down on because, for instance, I know if we focus on transportation, we can cut some parts of transportation. Instead of a kid being picked up on the north side all the way going to the south, we can cut that or have a private company come in and see what the cost would outweigh as far as savings. So we can focus and say, hey, that money that was saved here from our personal bus drivers. Yes, we have accountability for our personal bus drivers, our maintenance, and there's other things involved in there. Well, what can we do to supplement that out to somebody else, another company, a private company, and saying, hey, you know what, this is going to be our standard. This is what the dollar amount is. We cannot go above that dollar amount. So I think that's a good way to kind of focus that and shift that money.
Like transportation. Okay.
So in terms of moving people around the district, that actually... You're actually leading me into all these questions. School vouchers or school choice. Any thoughts on that? And where do you stand?
School vouchers and school choice. I think school vouchers would be great, to be honest with you, because at the end of the day, here we go again, middle class. If somebody can't afford it, school vouchers would definitely help bridge that educational gap. And that brings up a big topic for me and my family going back in history. You have a lot of people that are like, hey, we're all equal. We're equal in education, but our parents may not have been equal in that education. So it's going to take 3 to 4 generations to catch up, meaning you got somebody who went home and their parents told them about financing.
Yeah.
Now you go to school, everybody's equal because they're teaching you what the curriculum is, but are they teaching you all the curriculum? So I think bridging that gap there would be great.
Okay.
You spoke recently in front of, like you said, in front of the school board and the city council. It was like a combined meeting of them. And you had concerns about a book. What was the book that you were concerned about, and what were your concerns?
And that's the thing that I was bringing up there. It's my concerns is that there's some books that should not be in the library. But even though we get that contradictory with people are saying, hey, but they got internet and they got phones. Well, that's personal. They have their personal phones. They can do that with personal, but education in the school system should just focus on education with the books that we need to stay involved in as far as reading, math, social studies, your normal curriculums, but also that meeting I was referring to is that same meeting that I was reading from somebody else's words instead of my own. So that's...
But you read those words. Are those your words? So are you in favor of banning books?
I'm in favor of banning books. I say yes. I am definitely in favor of banning books. Now, all the words that were on that sheet were not my words in particular. Now, my words would be there is books that need to be banned. Mm-hmm. I am fully on board as banning some books that need to be banned. That book in particular that I was reading about, that one definitely needs to be banned.
Okay, and that book, the name of the book is?
That one was I believe Black and Blue or something like that. I got, that was just like a couple of weeks ago, but there's so much going on. But I will definitely get back to you on the name of that book so you can.
What were your concerns?
It's
that book.
So I think biology should stay in biology. Going into a corner and reading how to enter another person, I don't think that's appropriate, especially for kids to be reading. You can definitely focus on that at home. Your parents can tell you all about that at home, or you can learn it in biology class from an educational standpoint.
Yeah. I'm hearing around the community, though, that by removing that book, it would be an attack on the LGBTQ community. Do you agree with that?
I do not. I don't agree with that. I have two of my friends down the street that live down the street from me, Droma and Paul, great guys. Mm-hmm. And I read that book to them, and they were a little bit baffled about it as well.
Okay.
So from them being in the LGBT community, and I get the same response from them, it makes me feel a little bit better about my decision in my head and my focus on, hey, some books should be banned.
Okay. And then do you know which library or libraries this book is stocked in?
I don't remember which libraries it's stocked in because, like I said from the beginning, is a person was told me to read this speech. So I don't remember what library it's in. I just know that they gave me a copy of the book, a printed out copy, and I read it, and it just didn't seem right for me.
So, did somebody approach you about running for Mansfield ISD school board?
So I was on the tip of running for Mansfield school board and running for city council of Arlington.
Did somebody approach you and sway you one way or the other?
No, they didn't sway me one way or the other. I had a decision, and I was talking to Paige Payne a lot. She is definitely a godsend. She is great with words. She's great with motivation. I was talking to her about, hey, should I run for city council or should I run for school board? But then when I went home, and my son loves to read books. Mm-hmm. He loves to read books. When he's 2 years old, but he figured out he's got an opinion. So we're working on that right now. But if he goes to bed, he does not want to go to bed without a book. So we try to educate him a lot. So when sitting down thinking one night, I'm like, you know what? I want to see if he can get the education that I didn't get. I feel that when I went to school, some of the teachers fell through the crack about giving me the education. Why? Because mostly some of them were underpaid. Mm-hmm. And if they're underpaid and underworked, they just come to work just to collect a check and just send you home. So I feel that, hey, let me see if we can focus on the school system. And that's where I'm like, hey, you know what? If I can get this ahead of time before he gets to school, I think it would be great. Not just for my comfort, but for him to go out into the world.
Running a political campaign can be expensive. Ooh. Do you plan on accepting any money from political action committees?
No. Yep, that's a firm no.
Sorry, I'm writing down no. And it took that long, y'all.
Don't worry.
Yes, it did. Have you had any experience with the Patriot PAC? Do you know who they are?
I know who they are. Have I had experience with them? No. Okay. Do I want to have experience with them? No. Okey-doke. I'm kind of like your solo / I just want to run and I want my opinion instead of everybody else's opinion as far as which political, do not push me political which way to go. Let's push me on education and how I feel in my heart on which way to go.
In the minute or so that we have left, why don't you, the mic is open, feel free to address the listening audience on any concluding statement that Quintin Huckaby may have.
Ooh, I have a lot of statements in my head, but one in particular is trying to reach more out to my minority community as far as the Black community and letting them know that, hey, I am focused on education, not just one side, Democrat or Republican. I'm focused on education. So feel free. Anybody can DM me. Let's talk. But I want to reiterate again, and I have it in my head about transparency. The curriculum, I believe, needs to be online because you have parents out there who work an 8-to-5 job, like my mom, who didn't get off until like 5 o'clock, didn't make it home to 6:30. And I feel that, if on Sunday night and I finally got rest, maybe I can go on the internet and click on what my son's curriculum is. I want more transparency in the school place. And I also want to focus on entrepreneurship, because I feel like most kids, yes, we focus on going to college, but at the same time, how can we focus on the knowledge that's out there? Because we don't know about the knowledge unless somebody tells us about it. Everything that I ran into outside of school, I'm like, man, I wish somebody would have told me this. That would have been great. Like, I'm meeting people now that's 40, 50 years old, and I'm telling them about, hey, you can buy your house in one person's name, and then your spouse can go get another house in their name, and they can rent that out as residual income. So we're learning about residual income. We're learning about past history. So I want to make sure we focus on all those things.
How can people find out more information about Quintin Huckaby? Do you have a website, email address, or are you on
Quintin
social
Huckaby
media?
is about to post his bio on social media. I've been holding out a little bit because everybody wants to know about Quintin Huckaby because I do not post a lot online.
Yeah.
So a lot of people are like, hey, you get people who post daily about this. They did this. I'm more of, hey, let's talk. I love talking in front of people. Give me a ring, send me an email, mainly text me. So if I can tell my number is 682-234-4601. Definitely text me. Let's have a conversation. I'm going to post my bio here on April 1st.
On where are you going to post it?
I'm going to post it on Facebook. So I got my Facebook up.
So they need to look for Quintin Huckaby. Is it just Quintin Huckaby?
Quintin Huckaby for Mansfield ISD School Board.
Thank you.
Definitely find me. I'm ready to talk, and let's have fun.
Early voting starts April 24th. Election day is Saturday, May 6th. I almost said 7th, May 6th. Appreciate it. Quintin Huckaby, thank you for being here, and good luck on May 6th.
Thank you so much.